Let's take a look at some of the common problems on this purple boulder. Flexibility can be a real problem for some people. If you're not flexible enough to do a hand-foot match, as long as you're not using any of the other holds before you do the start, that's perfectly legal. Unless you've got a really strong grip, trying to pull on slopers is really difficult, especially if your center of gravity is out away from the wall. Slopers really work best when you're pulling or pushing straight down into the surface rather than pulling outwards, away from the wall. If you're having trouble transitioning from the start foothold, try pressing your hands against the same wall your foot is on so that you can unweight it and move it closer to the corner. This will allow you to get your center of gravity closer to the wall so that you are in a better position to use the slopers. As you move across the slab wall, keep your hips in close to the wall so that you can direct force directly into the surface of the slopers rather than outwards, away from the wall. With most of the weight directed down onto your feet, you shouldn't need as much grip strength to maintain balance. Generally, moving with your hips square to the wall will also help keep your center of gravity closer than going hips perpendicular. Rushing things on bouncy slab problems usually doesn't end well. Move slowly and in control so that you can make those tiny adjustments if you need to before gravity takes over and pulls you away. Hopping foot switches are also often harder to control than using like the stacking or the rolling method. Get into a good foot position before you attempt the switch if you can. Pivot and feel around for the best spot. On big holds, you can often make enough space to do a rolling foot switch rather than stacking one foot on top of the other. Instead of reaching hands first and then having to use your upper body to control the momentum of your weight transfer, move your center of gravity first, pushing with the right hand and shifting your hips over the left foot. Once balanced on the left foot, it's easy to place your right foot up to the next hold. This next big pressing move is difficult, but can be made easier by pushing on the right thigh, spreading the load, and levering the hips up over the high right foot. If you're not flexible enough to lift your foot without letting your hips come away from the wall, then it's important for you to get some grip on the top hold to stop yourself from falling away. A lot of people try gripping the top of the hold and have little success. If you look closely, you'll notice that the most positive edge is actually on the bottom, so instead of pulling down on the top of the hold, press up into it. The tension created between the upward pressure from your hand and the downward pressure from your feet will allow you a bit of wiggle room to get that foot up so that you can match the finish hold.